So the Big Ten championship is this weekend on Saturday at 8 p.m. And Michigan is not involved in this one for the first time in 4 years. Ohio State is not involved in this one because of Michigan for 4 straight years. The Big Ten title is your number 3 team in the college football playoff, Penn State, taking on the number 1 team in the college football playoff, Oregon. Now, I'm going to give you Oregon versus Penn State's defense and then vice versa, and I'll give you a winner, a prediction for this game, but we got to go through it all because this is an epic matchup, 1 versus 3. Oregon's offense is getting 35 points per game, 449 yards per game, 278 of which are passing yards per game. 171 are rushing yards per game, so they are very versatile, very balanced. Quarterback Dylan Gabriel is 74% for Oregon. 273 yards per game passing, 24 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. He has 175 rushing yards as well, only a 3.1 average per carry, but he has 7 rushing touchdowns, so you got to keep that in mind, Penn State. All right, running backs, they got a couple. Jordan James, 206 carries, 1,166 yards. He is the bell cow, and he's getting 5.7 yards per carry. He has 3 rushing touchdowns as well, and he has 182 receiving yards out of the backfield for an 8.7 clip. Their other running back, Noah Whittington, can catch the ball out of the backfield as well. He has 105 receiving yards, 6.2 clip, and 2 receiving touchdowns, but 97 carries for 455 yards on the ground, 4.7 average, and he has 5 rushing touchdowns. Tight end Terrence Ferguson has 35 catches for 490 yards. That's a 14-point-yard clip, and he has 2 receiving touchdowns. And then tight end Kenyon Sadiq has 21 catches for 268 yards, a 12.8 average, and I remember this guy getting huge catches versus Michigan. I remember him in that game. Wide receiver Tez Johnson, 67 catches for 685 yards, 10.2 average, 9 receiving touchdowns. Evan Stewart has 48 catches on the year, 613 yards, 12.8 average, and 5 receiving touchdowns. Even Trayshawn Holden, 36 catches for 581 yards, 16.1 average, and 3 touchdowns. Now, this is all behind their offensive line, which might win the Joe Moore Award. It should, in my opinion, for the best offensive line in the nation. Now, they're going up against Penn State's defense. And Penn State's defense is giving up 14 points per game, which is good for number 6 in the nation. They are giving up 267 yards per game, which is 4th in the nation. Passing yards per game, 170. Rushing yards per game, 97. These statistics have to be concerning for Oregon and their offense. Penn State's defensive line is okay. Defensive end Abdul Carter has 54 tackles, 10 sacks, 3 pass breakups, and 2 forced fumbles. He is an amazing edge player, so watch out for that guy. But other than that, defensive end Danny Dennis Sutton has 24 tackles, 4 sacks, and 3 pass breakups. Defensive tackle Zane Durant has 35 tackles, 3 sacks in the interior. And defensive tackles Devon J. Thomas and Alonzo Ford Jr. have some tackles, but no sacks in that interior. Linebacker Kobe King for Penn State has 62 tackles and 3 sacks. Tony Rojas has been good, 43 tackles, 2 pass breakups, and 2 interceptions. And Dominic DeLuca has 24 tackles and 1 interception at the linebacker position. Now let's look at Penn State's secondary. Jalen Reed leads the team with 75 tackles. He also has 2 pass breakups, 3 interceptions, and 1 of which went for a touchdown. And then safety Zaki Wheatley had 60 tackles, 3 pass breakups, and 1 interception. Cornerback A.J. Harris had 32 tackles, 4 pass breakups, and an interception. And Elliott Washington has 5 pass breakups and an interception. As we know, no stats or lesser stats is a good thing on teams that are complete, because there are limited plays and you force 3 and outs, and each player has less opportunity to show what they can do. So can Oregon get to 30 plus points in this game? Because I think that's, they might not have to do that, but yeah, I think they can do that. With a bigger volume of plays versus Penn State than anyone else since Ohio State. But what can Penn State do offensively versus Oregon's defense on the other side of the ball? Penn State's offense is getting 33 points per game, 443 yards per game, 248 passing yards, 195 rushing yards, so they are balanced as well. Drew Aller has an easy time of it this year, though. No Michigan on their schedule, and Illinois is their one good win. But Aller, 72% on the season, 222 passing yards per game, 18 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. He's only been sacked 11 times, so they have a good enough offensive line. Penn State does bring in Bo Pribula at quarterback from time to time. He is 74%, 5 touchdowns to 1 interception. He also has 230 rushing yards on a 6.6 average and 4 rushing touchdowns. So watch out for Bo Pribula coming in, Oregon. But tight end Tyler Warren seems to be Penn State's guy. He has 81 catches for 978 yards. On top of that, he has 6 receiving touchdowns, but on top of that, he has 189 rushing yards and 4 rushing touchdowns this season at tight end. If that's not enough, he passes the ball too. He is 3 of 5 on the season for 35 yards, and he has a passing touchdown this season. They got 2 great running backs, Penn State does. Nick Singleton, 121 carries for 733 yards this season, 6.1 average, 7 touchdowns. He also catches the ball out of the backfield. Both of these guys do as well. 292 yards receiving, 8.8 average. And he has 4 receiving touchdowns. Katron Allen has 159 carries, 698 yards, 4.4 average on the ground, 5 touchdowns. But he has 140 receiving yards, 8.7 average, and 2 touchdowns out of the backfield. There are guys on the outside for Penn State, and there's 3 of them I can name for you, but they don't use them very much, but they are capable. And that is Harrison Wallace, 35 catches, 579 yards, 16.5 average, and 3 receiving touchdowns this season. Amari Evans, 18 catches, 338 yards, an 18.8 clip, and 3 touchdowns. And then Liam Clifford, 17 catches, 279 yards, a 16.4 average, and a touchdown. Now this is going up against Oregon's defense led by Dan Lanning and the like. Oregon's defense is 9th in points per game, giving up 16 points per game. 7th in yards per game, 234. They're giving up 172 passing yards per game, 112 rushing yards per game. The defensive end is elite. And Aller better watch out because Matayo Uyunglele has 37 tackles, 10.5 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles on the season so far. Defensive end Jordan Birch has 28 tackles, 8.5 sacks, and 5 pass breakups on the line of scrimmage. Defensive lineman on the interior, Derek Harmon, 39 tackles, 2 pass breakups, 4 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 2 fumble recoveries. And then Jamari Caldwell, 27 tackles on the interior as well. They go 4 deep in the linebacker position. Bryce Botcher leads the team with 80 tackles. Botcher, 2 sacks and 4 pass breakups, and he has 1 interception as well. Linebacker Tatum Tuioti has 49 tackles, 5.5 sacks on this defense. Linebacker Jeff Bassa has 46 tackles, 2 pass breakups, and 2 forced fumbles on the season. Linebacker Justin Jacobs has only 27 tackles and an interception, so they go 4 deep there. The secondary is even better. Tysheem Johnson has 55 tackles, 3 picks. Kobe Savage has 54 tackles. Brandon Johnson has 40 tackles, 5 pass breakups, and an interception. Jabbar Muhammad has 33 tackles and 9 pass breakups. Nico Reed has 31 tackles, 4 pass breakups, and an interception. Dante Manning has 17 tackles and 5 pass breakups. So, in order for Penn State to score on this defense, they're not going to be able to pass the ball. And I don't think I don't think Penn State is even going to try to do that. It's going to be the Tyler Warren show and Nick Singleton, Katron Allen. They're going to have to get it done versus defense. I don't think Aller will have time to pass the ball. And even Tyler Warren cannot do it all for Penn State. I think Oregon wins this game pretty handily, 31-17. Listen, Michigan. I think Michigan would beat this Penn State team. And I'm not kidding. Ohio State already beat them. So Oregon should handle them as well in this game. I think they win 31-17. Please like the video. Check out my other videos on the channel. And I appreciate it, everybody. What do you guys think? Is Oregon going to clean house, win the Big Ten in their first season in the Big Ten? I think they will. Let me know in the comments below. And will Oregon continue on and win a national championship? Because I think they can. And I think they will. They're the most complete team. What do you think, Penn State fans? Am I wrong? Do you have a chance? What matchup? How are you going to win this game? Let me know. All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. And have a great day out there.